What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update. And we have some big news from the Problem Solvers Caucus and even bigger news regarding the stimulus checks from President Donald Trump. We're going to get to all the details of it in this video. We're actually going to jump right into it. Don't forget to give this video a like. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. Okay, first up, we're going to hear from Senator Joe Manchin, who is a Democratic senator, on how we may receive the bill tomorrow for the stimulus package, what will be in it, in addition to the $1,200 checks, the amendment from Josh Hawley and Bernie Sanders.
And I'm going to get into some specifics in a minute. A week ago, we told you about a bipartisan group of lawmakers who put together a compromise package for coronavirus relief. Joining us now from West Virginia, Senator Joe Manchin, a leading member of the Gang of Eight, pushing that plan. Senator, is the Gang of Eight's compromise, $908 billion, is that plan now dead? And is there a chance that Congress may leave town for the year without passing any COVID relief at all?
Well, first of all, Chris, the plan is alive and well, and there is no way that we're going to leave Washington without taking care of the emergency needs of our people. And that's all over our country, and my state of West Virginia, too. They're all hurting everywhere.
But it seems you've got, and I'm going to get into some specifics in a minute, you've got the president pushing one plan, the Senate Majority Leader McConnell pushing another, Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats a third. It seemed, as I say, a week ago, like maybe they were all going to come together behind your plan. There's an awful lot of talk that negotiations have fallen apart.
Well, here's the thing. It hasn't fallen apart. We've been meeting day and night for the last month. We were on the call all day yesterday. We get on the call again this afternoon to finish things up. We'll have a bill produced for the American people tomorrow, $908 billion. Now, Chris, the bottom line is there's a lot of parts to this bill.
So it's interesting that he says we'll see a stimulus package bill tomorrow. The question is, what will the actual details come out to because of the two different plans? One that has a $300 per week unemployment extension for 4 months going forward. The other one, which has $600 stimulus checks and $600 stimulus checks for children. And then there's this amendment from Senator Josh Hawley, Republican senator, and Senator Bernie Sanders, Democratic senators, where they have teamed up to add an amendment to either one of those bills for $1,200 stimulus checks. And they promise that they will not let the government continue. The government shuts down this Friday, that they will block a government funding bill if they do not include this amendment onto either bill for $1,200 stimulus checks and $500 checks for children, in addition to possibly, say, the $300 per week stimulus package.
Spirit of compromise, you have to work through all of that. But at the end, you can't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. There's going to be, individually, if you put a bill up, there's some of the members wouldn't vote for certain parts of the bill. But when you put them all together and look at the good it does for our country in the most emergency way that we need it. This is only till April the 1. We're trying to get through the toughest first quarter of our country that we've ever faced. And we've got people without nutrition, we have people without shelter, we have people without paychecks, they're unemployed, we have hospitals that are being overburdened, we have healthcare workers, we have schools that need to be attended to. This covers all of that, and we give all the small businesses a chance to survive until the first quarter. By then, we should come out with a vaccine that should be helping us, and Joe Biden will be our president and make a determination what more is needed. This is strictly an emergency measure.
Yeah, but I just want to make it clear, the bill you're talking about tomorrow is a bill that the Gang of Eight agrees on. You don't have majority support in the Senate. You don't have majority support in the House. Let me ask you about some of the alternatives that are out there now. And let's, if you don't mind, a lightning round, quick questions, quick answers. President Trump says President Trump says, forget the unemployment benefits, just send a single stimulus check, $600 to each American. Is that a good idea?
It's a bad idea, and I hope he reevaluates that statement, because basically, if you're sending a stimulus check of $600 or whatever it may be, it was $1,200 before, you're sending it to people that still have a paycheck and still have a job. If you send a check to an unemployed person, you're sending a person who has no lifeline. It's done at the end of this month. They've got nothing. We're going to $300 extended for 16 weeks. I think that's much more reasonable, practical, and much needed.
Now, I don't necessarily agree with him there. I mean, I think we need stimulus checks for the average everyday person and an unemployment extension. I mean, unemployment people definitely need money. I mean, they've lost their jobs just recently. I mean, we know unemployment benefits don't go on forever. So that means they've lost their jobs during this pandemic within the last several months. Those people for sure need money because I mean, they're most unemployment people make about half of what they made at their job. So they're definitely not making out. They need a little bit of a bonus during this once in a 100-year pandemic. But we also need stimulus checks for the average everyday American because this pandemic is just ruining everything. I mean, 2020 is going to go down. I mean, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, we're still going to remember 2020 as like the worst year ever. So, I mean, and all economists agree that stimulus checks are actually the best way to help the economy because when you put the money in the hands of average everyday Americans, they go out and they spend it in the economy. They put that money out. It goes to businesses, it goes to restaurants, it goes to their rent. And then those businesses use that money to pay people. And it basically just gives the economy a vitamin C shot. Yeah, not a vaccine shot, a vitamin C shot.
All right. Republican leaders still want some liability protection for businesses so people, when they go to a restaurant or a school or whatever, can't then sue and say, you gave me COVID. Democrats still want a lot of aid to cities and states. But the Republicans don't like the Democratic idea. The Democrats don't like the Republican idea. Is that still the holdup?
Well, the spirit of compromise is this. Everybody's not going to get what they want. We can get something we could all live with, but we're putting a product forward. It's going to go forward with both, with everything. Hopefully in it, you'll see a complete bill tomorrow before the end of the day. Well, then you can choose if you like it or not. Vote for it or vote against it. Look at the good it does as a whole, not an individual piece. There's nobody that wants a business to be litigated out of business. They're going to be tough enough just surviving. On the other hand, we don't want to throw caution to the wind that the businesses aren't safe places to work, the workers not protected, and the people that patronize these places of businesses are not in a safe environment. We have to take all that in consideration, do the best we can. I remind you this, it's for a short period of time. A short period. We're not changing the tort laws forever. We're just trying to get through an emergency period of time.
All right. Some senators are saying, look, liability is an issue, aid to cities and states is an issue. Let's forget about both of those in this bill and just stick aid specifically to unemployed workers and aid to small businesses on the bill that you've got to pass to keep the government running to avoid a shutdown.
Sure.
Forget about that other stuff for now. What do you think about that idea?
Oh, Chris, that's the easy way. That's the easy way out. We can forget about the tough things. That's what we've been doing for 10 years or more. No one wants to take a tough vote. They're all afraid it's going to hurt them in the election. We're here to take tough votes. We're here to help a country that's having a tremendous hardship going on right now, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. So with that being said, that's the easy way. We can drop off both liability and drop off aids to states. But states and municipalities especially, they're on the front line. You want your services to go, essential services, first responders, firemen, policemen. You want all those to be in jeopardy of the services that we depend on and need, to let it fall apart and then think we can pick it back up? You want the airlines to collapse? You want all these things to go by the wayside. We don't. We're going to make the tough selection. Now, if the rest of the caucus won't go along with it, they'll decide what they can throw out. If the leaders can't come together, but we worked as a bipartisan group and we've grown over the month. We've got a good product that's been vetted in so many different ways. And only thing I can tell you, we've done what this place is supposed to do. We've worked together. We didn't work apart and condemn each other and point fingers at them. We've got a good product, and we want the American people to know that in America, we can do it in a bipartisan way. We can do it, and we're going to do it.
Not to mention that now that the vaccine is going out and they're flying across the country to different states and different cities, and we'll start distribution tomorrow, states are going to need billions of dollars immediately to be able to pay to do this, to pay for the transportation costs, to pay for the refrigeration costs, to pay for people to actually put it in the arm. All these things cost money, and so many states and cities do not have this money and need a stimulus package to be able to pass money to pay for this stuff.
Senator Manchin, you've done a very good job of selling your plan. You have not done a good job of convincing me, though, it's going to get passed by Congress in the next week.
Well, there's no guarantee. There's 535 people that have to vote. 535. I can't guarantee they're all going to vote for it and pass it, but I can tell you one thing. What's the alternative? What are you going to do? We've given 1 month, day and night. Our staffs have worked around the clock. We've done everything we can to put an all-inclusive product together. Pick whatever parts you like, whatever parts you don't like. Put it all together or take it as a whole. We're going to give it to you the way we think the American people need it. In an emergency situation, we need this legislation.
So there you go. We have it. Senator Joe Manchin, a Democratic senator from West Virginia, says that we will see a stimulus package bill tomorrow for $900 billion with all the details of what is going to be in this bipartisan package officially. And then will they add the amendment on from Josh Hawley and Senator Bernie Sanders for the $1,200 stimulus check? We're going to have a lot of big breaking news. Also, some big news from President Donald Trump today, who says that he wants stimulus checks in this next stimulus package, and he wants them to be more money than what they're talking about. During an interview today, Trump says he was pushing very hard to get a deal done and criticized Democrats for not coming to the table, even as both sides are trying to push for this deal. Trump called for Congress to send another round of stimulus payments to Americans, saying he wants to, quote, see checks for more money than they're talking about going to the people. The president has privately endorsed the idea of sending checks for as much as $2,000 to individuals, and that was just this week, according to the Washington Post. He said that to Senator Josh Hawley, who is the one who has that standalone bill with Bernie Sanders for $1,200 checks. Senator Josh Hawley says that the president said directly to him that he is in favor of anywhere from $1,200 to $2,000 stimulus checks. Just the stimulus check part alone, the president wants to see us get higher, larger stimulus checks. This is good news because this shows the president is in favor of these larger stimulus checks, and he's showing Republicans that he's in favor of these stimulus checks, and they need to be too also. If we get Republican support for $1,200 or more stimulus checks, it'll pretty much be a done deal, as there's probably not a single Democrat in the world that would vote against $1,200 or more stimulus checks. So if they get Republicans' approval, which President Donald Trump is the leader of the Republicans, if they follow his lead and say, hey, President Donald Trump wants these $1,200 stimulus checks to be in this package, let's do it, we could have these stimulus checks agreed on here within the next 48 hours. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos coming out at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will keep you updated, and don't forget to like and share this video down below so others like you will know what's going on with the stimulus check programs. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA, which I teach people how to do. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.